Good morning out there, traders. It is July 1st, 2024, and welcome to the Apteros DMI. Let's jump into our recap here. Last day in June. So, taking a look at our different scenarios, we had a bullish line in the sand here with scenario 1 being a hold above that, scenario 2 being a breakdown below it. Main target areas were out here at two neutral destinations, and then we had a stretch target possible to the downside that never reached there either. So, let's just kind of look at it. It's pretty obvious here. We had a couple of inflections for the bullish side of things before the acceptance picture just wasn't any good, and it just didn't work out. That's the way it goes with this particular area here. It was one of those situations where we were coming from a destination, a higher point where the risk reward landscape to the upside just wasn't that great. So continuing to be bullish, had its issues, and we knew that. But our bullish line in the sand was the what is picture on the lower edge of things. So that's what we were paying attention to with the shorter time frames. It didn't inflect. The bulls, didn't really show up, and became just a couple of very minor MFE situations before fully collapsing and breaking down here. And then no pullback for us. No pullback to get short off of our line in the sand after the acceptance picture changed. So it was just a situation where you had an idea, it didn't work, couple of attempts, that's pretty much it. And you move on and you try to set up for the next day. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to move on and set up for today. Okay, so with Friday's, or the last day in June here's movement coming back in, we find ourselves back inside of value. Now, this is a pretty strong value area that we had built out previously. So this value here is going to be critical to what's going on today. We were in a situation at the end of June there where we were looking for a breakout scenario, looking for this market to possibly continue to highs and break through that, and it just didn't do that, right? The market sold off pretty much near the all-time highs and started coming back in, and now we find ourselves sitting right back in value in a rotational state, right? We're back inside of an established zone. So we have that clear picture here in terms of the what is going on our lower time frames. So with that kind of being said, our scenarios are pretty straightforward today. Scenario 1 is that we maintain this value, kind of looking back and forth in between this value area here with some stacked and layered references in this zone. This bearish area, it's a little wider, a little bit more of a neutral reference here because this is an older value area, but we are back inside of it, so it is relevant to what we're, looking at here today. But for the most part, that's what scenario 1 breaks down into being. If we get scenario 2 I'm just going to cover as a general breakout in either direction. The breakouts in either direction are nice in terms of the risk-reward landscape as well. So overall today, we're kind of happy to be on either side of the market. And if we end up seeing something shift out of this value area, we have good risk reward to reach some destinations lower as well as higher. So that's kind of the overall landscape that we find ourselves in. It's pretty much an established what is picture, right? In whenever you look at it from higher time frames, we're clearly rotational, clearly balancing. The locations that we're doing it in are, defined by more short-term references, and that's the strong what is picture. And this what is picture had a failed breakout up here, so that's kind of the story, right? So the bears have a little bit more control as we come back into value, and now we're just seeing if the bulls can hold this value area or not. And that's kind of the way the story has developed up to this point. So remember, our scenarios are pretty straightforward. Scenario 1, maintain this rotational area. Scenario 2 is a break in either direction because, in all honesty, in this situation, the bears have a little bit more recency in terms of their market-generated information. This return to value is a more bearish situation, but they have to break down areas that the bulls are defending before they get any more, trending to the downside or anything like that. If it does occur, the 05s is the first destination, but inside the 05s, it's a nice continuation opportunity for the bears down to 82s. For the bulls, if it breaks out to the upside, it's pretty much kind of wide open until we get back up into neutral areas, and then, of course, all-time highs. So, hope you trade well today and mind your risk and make sure that you get a real process win today. That's kind of our main focus every day, right? So it's more about the process, less about the P&L, because the P&L comes with a really solid process. So let's get after it.